Hey, second review, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, doing my second review of the day. This is going to be a quick one. I'm going to try my best to be as fast as possible. Yeah, I'm going to do a TV review on Black Mirror Season 2. Black Mirror is a British TV show created by Charles Brooker and also written for the most part by Charles Brooker. I've covered Season 1 a while back, and then I've watched Season 2, which is 4 episodes long. Actually, it is 3 episodes long, but a few months after these 3 episodes, they released a special extra Christmas episode. So I'm gonna just consider it as a part of season 2, so now it is 4 episodes long. Unlike Sherlock, every single episode here is pretty much the average TV episode length, which is about 45 minutes. Aside from the last episode of season 2, the Christmas special, which is 1 hour and 14 minutes long. And each episode is separated into 4 acts, but the last episode of this season is separated into 6 acts. Also, every single episode features a different story. So we have episode 1 called Be Right Back. It features Haley Atwell and Domhnall Gleeson. Essentially, the story is about Haley Atwell's character um, losing her husband for some mysterious reason. So basically, her husband dies right at the beginning, and then he's met with this new technology which can basically recreate someone by uploading an entire consciousness onto a thing, and you can put that consciousness into a body and make it act like a real human being, even though it's not real, it's a robot. And first of all, I like this concept. I think this is a thing that might actually come true in the future, and that is really, really scary and creepy because these robots, while they talk and act very humanly, they lack the human consciousness. At the end of the day, they're just computers. They don't have emotions. They can't process emotions. They have no sexual behavior. They answer things based off of their own history. They don't change at all. However, my problem with this episode is that I feel like it is a little bit too long. The story is good, but it suits a 30-minute long story, not 45 minutes, so it's a little bit too long. Also, I feel like the ending is not good enough. It doesn't have that payoff. It just feels like Haley Atwell's character just gave up. She realizes that this life after death robot thing is bad and kind of creepy, and she doesn't really do anything about it at the end, so the episode just kind of ends off right there. So yeah, great performances and a good story topic, but did it have a strong payoff like I wanted it to? No, and I'm just gonna leave it at that, feeling a 7 out of 10 on episode 1. Next, we have episode 2, White Bear, and this episode is atmospherically, tonally, completely different from the first episode. This one is super fast paced, super energetic, lots of action, and it's whack. The story is whack. Essentially, a woman, I forgot her name, gosh darn it, but she wakes up in her apartment not having any memories, not knowing what the hell's happening. She walks out of her apartment, her flat, and all of her neighbors are just filming her with their phones, with their smartphones. And there's one other guy with a shotgun trying to hunt her down and kill her, but nobody's helping. Everybody's waving their phones around recording. And this is a very 2010s cultural and social phenomenon where instead of helping out people who need help, people just film it and put it online because it gets them attention. And man, it's so 2010s. It's so 2010s. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sounding like a boomer right now. But yeah, even though the story is whack and we pretty much know nothing about the story until the halfway point, which definitely did not make this story super enjoyable or super well written or anything, it's still very freaking entertaining. Imagine waking up in the middle of nowhere, or in your flat, but you don't know what's going on, and people are trying to kill you, and there are other survivors, and then they all betray you one by one. Like, you would be like, damn, I want to know what the hell's going on. And all these little weird glitches all come together at the halfway point when there is a plot twist where we finally understand what is actually really going on. And this entire plot twist put the entire story on a new perspective, and it is impressive. It is really impressive. Again, the story is whack. It's bullshit. In real life, something like this would never happen, especially after the plot twist. It's just even more ridiculous. But I really like the idea of it. The setup to the plot twist is pretty awesome. And I really like the idea that there are people who have done really wrong things. But is it even more wrong to punish these people with very inhumane punishment? Nobody can absolutely tell, moral ambiguity. Episode 3 is called the Waldo Moment, more like the bruh moment, am I right? And it is a story about a failed comedian who plays a talking bear in a daily comedy show, and he gets involved into politics, local politics, because the studios was like, wow, your talking bear thing, it's really successful. Why not make you a political entertainment tool? And the comedian himself, his name is James. I remember that. His name is James. He was like, nah, man, politics, I don't know anything about it. I don't want to be involved. But the studios was like, no, it's good money. If you don't do this, you're going to be broke. You're going to be homeless. And that's basically the entire episode. And first of all, when I went to IMDb, the ratings were low. Come on, man. Let me review in peace, please. The ratings were low. It was a 6.6 on IMDb, so I was like, whoa, this episode pissed. I can't even. Wow, this episode pissed some people off. But in my honest opinion, I think the story of this episode is okay. It's not bad. Certainly, it's not as interesting as other Black Mirror episodes, but it's not terrible. It's not the end of the world. It's actually not bad. The pacing of the story is also pretty okay. I mean, it doesn't feel boring. It doesn't feel slow at all. But again, this episode suffers the same problem as episode 1 of season 2, and that is, I don't feel like there's an ending. It just doesn't end. I mean, certainly at the end there's a change of events, but it just feels like the main character just gave up, because he really did just give up at the end. He just quit it. And then there's no payoff. A sad ending is one thing, a bad ending is another thing. And an ending is an ending. There needs to be a climax, and there needs to be a payoff, a change of events where I don't understand. Where the plot changes at the end. So yeah, Waldo Moment, the performances are fine. Of course, again, it's not the greatest, but it's fine. And the idea is fine. It just doesn't feel like it has an ending, and it's just not as interesting as others. So Waldo Moment is also a 7 out of 10. Did I mention White Bear? The score, it's an 8. I can't. Alright, episode 4 is called White Christmas, and it is 1 hour and 14 minutes long. It features a huge actor by the name of Jon Hamm, and it is it's kind of like 3 stories put together. The first 2 stories is related to Jon Hamm's character, and then the last story is the actual whole story. So basically, Jon Hamm and this other guy, they are locked in a house in the middle of a Christmas, and apparently they have been locked there for 5 years already. And they were trying to have a conversation, And so John Hamm decided to reveal how he got there, and then the other character had to reveal how he got there. So first of all, we have the John Hamm's character trying to guide a boy to meet a girl, to pick up a girl in a party. And it is illegal. It is an illegal service, but essentially he looks through the boy's eyes and hears through the boy's ears. And it's sort of like a spy espionage thing where you can hear and see what the other person hears and sees through like some small gadget in your eyes and ears. So basically, John Hamm tries to guide this boy to pick up a girl in one Christmas party, and this thing had led to a very unexpected event, and it's a little shocking. It's a little shocking. And then we have the second story where a person has a surgery and becomes an egg, like more like becomes a computer, a consciousness stored in an egg, and this gadget is called a cookie. And again, it's really inhumane, and basically this is John Hamm's actual work, his character's actual work. He basically designs this thing and installs this thing and have someone copy their own consciousness and put it into an egg so that this egg can work for the actual person. It's weird, and again, it's really inhumane, especially given that the fact that the consciousness inside the egg, trapped inside the egg, is a consciousness, meaning that it has self-awareness, it can feel boredom, it can feel pain, it can feel emotions, it could feel stress and fear, and it's just very inhuman because the consciousness in the egg is very much human. I mean, if it's only a few codes, a very simple computer code, then, it's whatever. But it's an actual consciousness inside an egg, and it's quite unethical. And then we have the third story. Essentially, we have the actual main character of the story, where he is actually a good person. He has a wife, and his wife has a child, but tries to hide the fact that she's pregnant from the main character. The main character found out, the wife avoided him, disappeared, blocked him, and by blocking him, not blocking him on social media, but by blocking him entirely. There's this thing called Zen eyes, where people have things in their eyes, and if you block them, you literally can't see them, and they can't see you. You can't hear them, they can't hear you. And not even photos, not even videos. So the main character has been blocked for years and years and years, and he slowly found out the truth, and it was a really sad truth. And what really made this episode my favorite episode of the entire series so far is that none of the characters, aside from the two asshole detectives, none of the characters have good endings. And by good endings, I don't mean like living a happy life. In Black Mirror, dying is considered a good ending, like a quick death. Because characters in this episode, they either have to die, but in a very unfortunate and accidental way, be locked in a confined space for eternity, be blocked by everyone for eternity and not socialize with anyone, forced to not socialize with anyone for an eternity, and then also be confined in sort of a place for eternity. Again, these things are like hells. These endings are like hellish endings. They're even worse than death, way worse. So yeah, the final episode is really memorable, and John Hamm's performance is fantastic. I think the story is also more interesting. It does feel a little bit more cinematic. The pacing is more cinematic. Everything is way more well written. So yeah, overall, White Christmas is a 9 out of 10. Overall, Black Mirror Season 2, it has a couple of decent episodes and a couple of good episodes, and one of them is actually great. My favorite episode is White Christmas. My least favorite is the Waldo Moment. I'm giving Black Mirror Season 2 a strong 7 out of 10. So, have you watched Black Mirror Season 2? From 1 to 10, would you rate it? Like it and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.